Chambermail, and we're going to drink some beer. Merry Christmas. We have Anchor Steam's Christmas 2012. They do a new one every year. They've been doing them since 1975, which happens to be the year I got out of high school. So it's been around as long as I've been out of high school. Different recipe every year, different ABV every year. All we know is an ale with some spices in it. So 5.5% ABV this year. Let's go ahead and give it a crack. As always, if you like the reviews, please subscribe. We're always looking for new friends. Leave comments. Comments on how we learn, and comments. I always learn from you guys with the comments. I'll always respond. Go ahead and give this a pour. That's quite a dark color coming out of this. Got a very brown head on it. It's darker than tan. Maybe 2 fingers. And a dark ruby red, depending on which light I look through. You can see through it. So it looks, I mean, almost looks like a cross between a red ale and a porter or a stout. Smelling a little bit of malt, a little bit of that toasted malt. Yeah, definitely. Hint of espresso. A little bit of earthiness in there. Again, that would come from your toasted or roasted malts. A hint of cinnamon. Recipe secret. Have no clue what kind of malts we got in there, what kind of hops, whatever. Go ahead and give it a taste. Doesn't taste anything like it smells. First off, it's got a nice mouthfeel. It's got a bit of sharp, astringent to it. Don't really taste. I was expecting to get like a brown ale, earthy malt up front, and you don't get that up front. You actually get that at the end. After you've drank it, I taste that. And it's the toasted malt. Not a burnt flavor, but the toasted malt. Very, very, very different in that respect. I'm not really getting any much bitter. It's they brew this from November to January, so it's only available for a short time. I'm on the East Coast, so I'm about as far away from Anchor Steam as we can get. Yeah, I mean, your first taste is really quite, yeah, it really doesn't taste like beer up front. It just tastes more wet and watery, quenching. And then afterwards, you get that roasted malt in the back of your throat. I have to admit, I can't think of any other beer I've ever tried that had that kind of flavor profile. I've had some where the roasted will come out stronger in the back taste, but you're still getting the malt up front. I think you do get a hint of sweetness in there somewhere. Like a, I don't want to say brown sugar, but just a sweetness on the tongue. A hint of grass. So there definitely is some hops in there. A hint of resin. Getting a little thickness on the tongue, like a resin on the tongue. I'm not even sure how to describe it. It's really, I can't think of another beer I've had like it. I guess a brown ale would be the closest thing. It just flavor profiles are switched a little bit on it. Though it's not a true brown ale. So, yeah, there's a little bit of black coffee in the aftertaste, that little espresso that I smelt earlier. Nice beer. I would say definitely give it a try. Obviously, this is something you do every year. See how they compare. A lot of guys will age them. They tend to brew it so it will age well. So I don't know if this will smooth out over time. But again, need to come up with a score. We're going to say probably an 80. 80 out of 100. 8 out of 10 if you're doing a 10-point scale. Solid brew. Some interesting characteristics. Drinkable. And give it a try. Let me know what you guys think. Till next time, keep drinking.